understand this. So nested for loop, let's understand the formula first, whatsoever we have written earlier. So let's say for loop is here, and then we write initialization part here. So I'll just write dot dot dot, then semicolon, and here we write the test condition, right? Then semicolon, and we write the update conditions of that initialized variable. Then we write the curly bracket, and then the for loop ends. Something like this we work. And nested for loop says if for loop comes inside another for loop, then it is called nested for loop. So inside this, the same thing we have to write one more time. So this is for loop, and same thing will happen one more time here. And then some conditions will be there, and this is the outer for loop body. So something like this, and this is inner for loop body. All right, and this one is called outer loop, and this one is called inner loop. Okay, and this is at this point out of inner loop. Okay, and then it is running the outer loop related logic. So any idea when we use the such kind of loops? And before okay, I'll draw a diagram also for this, but any guesses when we use it?
When there are multiple conditions that needs to be tested, I guess.
Multiple condition means?
I don't know, brother.
Okay, all right. See, we had the multiple condition there also in our last program. See, there was multiple condition X and Y,
Yes.
but we
Right.
were doing such type of things. So before coming to that, let me draw a diagram for this, and then we will be discussing the inner for loop. So pay close attention related to the program as well for the this for loop particular part. So let's say the execution start from here. Okay, and as we draw a diagram for our first part, my init part comes here. I write init here. Then comes my this is my test part. Okay, and here again I'm drawing it. If it is true, I'm drawing things for the inner for loop. So inner will also start from init. So I write init here. Okay, init, after init same way I'll go to the test part for init. Okay, and after test the body part will come for this, and after body the update part for the init loop, inner loop, and then goes the inner loop. So this is the structure of inner loop for us. So what I have done, this is my inner loop. If it is true, it will go into this direction. If this is false, now see, if this is false, then it will go to the outer loop, and update will come here with respect to the outer loop. Okay, and then this outer loop will come here, and in this way it will keep on working. This program will keep on working until my condition does not become false. This is false, exit loop, right, and exit from the program here. So if you will see carefully, once I write it, let's say I'm playing around for 5 values for outer loop, 1 2 3 4 5, okay, and 5 values for inner loop as well. One, this guy, or let's say they are taking their turn one by one, this guy and this guy. So once this guy get initialized and jump over here for the first time, it will be, it condition would be checked, and if it passed the condition, then it will go to the inner loop here, the inner loop that guy would be passed here now. And
So
then one of, yeah, one,
after checking the condition in the first loop, the first for loop, it is go into the body, or it is
yeah,
going to go to the.
it will go into the body. That's why I'm drawing the diagram as well. This person has come here, then one of this
Okay.
person would get initialized, this person now. Just imagine this is a I and this is J, right?
Okay.
So I was coming here, first person of I was coming here, it was tested once, and then it came here, right? And then the number for the J was coming here, so that person has come here, then it has get initialized over here, then this person's condition would be checked over here, right? If that is
Okay.
true, then inner for loop, this for loop body part here, this for loop body part would get executed. Then this guy would be updated from what, from this to this, I mean increment by 1. I just draw a face, but consider is a numeric value incremented by 1. And then again this would be happening innermost part, right? This would be going on and on and on for all these 5 members, 1 2 3 4 5. Once this last member is done with it, what will happen, as soon as this person is done, or we are reached to the maximum value of the inner loop, the condition would be false on that particular time, and then it will go to the update status here, so that this person would get updated from 1 now, and this would happen. So if I draw another program for this, so let's say outer here, outer, for outer first person, all inner 5% get executed once, 1 2 3 4 and 5. Then outer second person, again inner 5% will get executed, 1 2 3 4 5, and so on. If we have 5% sitting outside outer loop, then 5 times it will get executed. Then outer will come again into the picture, and inner guys will be executed 5 times, 3 4 5, and then fourth time, so the inner guy will be executed here. Let me draw here, 1 2 3 4 5, and then fifth time outer will be executed, then these inner guys will get executed fifth time. So meaning to say, if we have at outer level 5 values are there, different 1 to 5, and inner level also we have 1 to 5 value, total 5 value, count is 5, here also count is 5, then total 25 times 5 into 5, the loop would get executed. Did you get the point here?
Yes.
Right? Now I'll show the same thing to the program also by doing and debugging, so you will have the more robust understanding. But initial understanding should be clear that for one person, for outer loop at a time, all inner person would get executed. Then second person will come from the outer loop, then again all inner person would get executed, then third person will come, then fourth person will come, and fifth cursor will come, something like that. So what kind of scenario happens for nested for loops? So whenever we have to draw an array like things, row and column, like this is row 1 2 3 4 5, 1 2 3 4 5, 1 2 3 4 5, 1 2 3, 2D array. It is called 2D array. Have you ever heard 2D array? Something like this. This is row, this is row number 1, row number 2, row number 3, and this is column C1, C2, C3. In mathematics, these are I mean matrix kind of things. We say it matrix. So if even if it is not understood, this particular use case C1, C2, C3 or array, normally if you ever see the program like this, if you have initially seen, that print this particular things this way onto the console, 3 4 5, again 1 2 3 4 5, something like this. Then how do you do it? I will show you using the nested for loop, those things,
No, brother, this is new.
right? Let me show you to you, right? So okay, let's do this program, then maybe the understanding would be little bit more stronger to you. So now let me create a new program. Okay, nested for loop demo. I'm in the main, and I would say what was my use case. My use case was this. I have to print that hash 5 times this way and 5 times here. Then I'll take few more scenario around that. Sorry. Okay, and let me copy and paste couple of more times here. And one more time. So this is our requirement to do. So how we will do now, let's have a look at this. These things, this is called row. One second. Okay, these things are called row. This one is one row, this is second row, this is third row. Just like your grocery stores, there are different payment stores there, right? Payment
Right.
gateways there. So people are standing in a queue. So this is, I would say, first row, this is second row, this is third row, and fourth row and fifth row. And how much column is there? One queue is represent one column. So this one is, if I can draw a diagram, it's allow me. Then let me see here. Not sure why it's okay. Not sure. So this one, this particular line, I hover my cursor. This is called one column. This is called second column. This is called third column, fourth column, five column. So how much we have? We have 5 rows and if I come here 5 columns. Now I'll write a program for this, how to do this. I have written one for loop, okay, and just place semicolon, semicolon. I didn't write anything for now. Okay, so this is my one for loop, and I have taken one more for loop here. I haven't done anything so far. All right, and I put a curly bracket here as well. This one is called my outer loop, and this one is called my inner loop. So far so good. I haven't done anything. I just plot
No.
a two for loop over here.
Yes.
Now what I'll say, I will initialize this for loop for a row first. So I'll write int row equal to 1. So first guy from row will come into the picture over here. Then how much size I would like to run. Let's say my size of this is 5. Let's say int size is 5 for everything. I have 4 column and 5 column and 5 rows. So I constantly taking 5 over here. So what should be my condition? Keep on moving this particular outer for loop until it reaches to the size or 5, in other words. And once body is done, whatever is returned, just increment row value by 1. So what I'll write, row plus plus. Normal thing, whatever I have written in the other program earlier, right, in for loop, just
Yes.
a basic variable, and then I have put up some condition, and then I incremented that by 1. Here is a row. So what I'm saying, that particular this thing, this row's first row, this is my row, first row's first value will come into the picture. And what I have to do, I have to, one second, I have to print this hash that many times. So my print statement is hash over here. I'll show you after debugging as well. Now what I'm taking a column here, col, and column will also go into the similar fashion, 1, and then column also less than size, and then column plus plus. I'll show you the debugging as well, and then I'll show you that how the things are moving here and there. First let me run this program, and then we will see what's going on over here. And before that I have to say syso as well here, println. Okay, to go to the next line. Now let's run it, and then I'll show you what's going on. One second. Okay, did I make any mistake? Let me quickly check it. 1 is less than equal to, less than equal to, all right. And then what I have done is row plus plus and column plus plus. Okay, sorry. I'll show you after that. Once that is done, see here, do you see the output what we expected? I'll show you how it is coming, right?
I see it,
5
but I
times
don't
this.
know how it's working.
Yeah, how it is working we will see now, right? The output has come. First of all I would like to bring an output, then I'll explain you how it is working. Now
Okay.
just give me 1 minute, let me bring 1 glass water, and then we will continue. Let's have
Okay, no problem.
let me have 1 glass water first.
Okay, go ahead. Sure.
Just 1 minute break, all right?
Yes, fine.
Okay, shall we proceed, Hussein?
Yes, go ahead. Please continue.
All right. So let's have a look at the debug level and we will inspect everything with respect to the understanding. So I'll start debugging now. Okay, so keep on watching the variable and everything. Okay, I press F6 here. So size is 5. Here you can verify, right? 5 is here. Then
Okay.
it will take another one more variable row out
But
this side.
when you go there, I see like it says on top string 0 ID 16. What is all this?
String 0 ID 16 means 1 second.
Right? No, right on top of the 5 where you just show the 5.
I'm showing that, but I would like to that drawing tool is not working. Okay, let me show this. Uh, this blue line you see, string argument,
Okay.
right? This belongs to this argument, and argument means we are not passing any argument right now. So this method is not taking any argument. So I will explain this part when I will be discussing method related thing.
Okay.
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 So just consider some argument is being passed over here, or consider this. If I draw a diagram of method for now for you, just for your understanding. So say for this container, okay, and in this container there is one hole here. So using this you can put in something. So that string array was that says you can putting string array in that method, main method. So this is an argument which is being passed. So it will be passed to it and we can use it. So that ID it was showing into the Eclipse. So I will explain this one more time when thoroughly when we will be discussing method part, right?
Okay.
Okay, so for now just ignore this argument related part. Okay, and
Okay.
size is 5. Size you understand because we have defined this, right?
Yes.
Row we have defined to 1. So as soon as I press F6, it has bring into the picture 1 as well for the row, right?
When you press F6, it don't go to line 18, it goes to line 21.
It went to the line 18. From 18 I did not write anything, 19 and 20. That's why it came to the line 21.
Okay.
What was the question?
No, I'm
See, we
saying
were
like
at the line 18 itself. When I press F6, it came to the very next statement is line 21 itself. That's why it came here.
no, go to line 16. Go to line 16.
Okay, line 16. Look,
Yes,
okay,
please.
let me terminate the program and re-execute it. Okay,
Okay.
for your doubt, whatsoever doubt you have. See, this time we are at line number 16. We have not
Right.
passed from this side. So once we will go through this line, then that get printed in the variable area over here, rightermost area, right?
Okay.
Upper right area. So if I press F6, see here, size comes into the picture. Now I'm at line number 18. So if I press F6 from here, it will give me the row's current value. So row current value is its initial value. That's supposed to be 1. Then it might have checked the condition that this 1 is less than 5, right? So it has done that as well. And then it gets satisfied. Then it came to the line number 21. Any doubt?
Okay. So when we go to line 16, then we hit F6. It goes to
Hmm.
line 18. It checks what is there. After that, it will go to line 21.
Right. If the condition meets, then it will go to the line 21, right? So
Okay.
condition has met over here. So that's why you can see as well. If I hover my cursor, row is 1 and size is 5. So 1 is definitely less than equal to 5. So condition is true, right?
Okay. But you please explain line 18. What is going on in line 18?
Okay. So line 18, when it came to the line 18, first thing is it has initialized the row variable,
Right. We know that already, as we seen earlier.
right?
Yes.
Row equal to 1. Then second thing, what it has done, 1 was get compared with size 5.
Size 5. Yeah.
right? So it was true, then it went to the line 21.
Oh, okay. So after checking the condition, then it goes to the nested for loop.
Right, correct. That's how the for loop works. Even you take a simple for loop, what we have discussed so far. I mean, let me show you the simple for loop. Like this one will execute first, then it will execute first, then body comes, then the incremental over here. So first, second, so first pass, second pass, then it will come to the third path here.
Okay, but over here we don't have second for loop. In this example, we have two for loop. Is what I'm
Yes,
saying.
so for outer for loop, this is a body, right? It does not know what is inside it. So it has
Okay,
come to its body, right? It does
right,
not know
right.
what is written inside it. So what it
No.
has done after the initialization, after the condition verification, as condition verification was true, it throw the flow control flow to the its body, no matter what is written over there. Whether inner for loop exists or not, it does not bother about this. Outer for loop has done it work for initial value, right? So far
Okay.
so good. Now
Yes.
what we are saying to our program, hey, I have written one more for loop and you have to obey inner for loop rule as well. So what it
Right.
will do now, it will initialize column by one, right? Something like this. Let me copy and paste and write it over here for you. So what it will do, it will take column here, right? And column value is also one, and one should be less than 5, right? And
Okay.
then it will go to the line 23. If I press F6, it has go, see here, column 1, if I hover my mouse or pointer, column is 1, size is 5, and 1 is less than 5. That's why it has come here. This row plus plus has not updated yet, and neither column plus plus has updated yet. Keep in mind. Is that clear to you?
No, brother, please, if you don't mind. So after checking line number 18, row is less than size. We know that it control went to line 21. So line
Right.
21, we have a variable called column, and that is being
Mm-hmm.
initialized with one. Fine. That
Mm-hmm.
that is that is done. That is done
Mm-hmm.
for its lifetime. Then we go to the second one.
Mm-hmm.
Second one is saying column is less than size, which is 5, right?
Right. Mm.
So the value of column is 1. That is also true. Yes. So now
Right.
it is going to go into the body of this second for loop and print
Inner
the
for loop.
hash, inner for loop, and print that
That's the
hash.
perfect understanding. That is the perfect understanding.
Okay,
So
fine.
if I press F6 now, what it will do? It will print this hash and then
Yes.
it will jump over here and will increment the column value first because it has to deal entirely with this for loop itself,
Right.
inner for loop itself. It does not know about the outer for loop because until unless it does not finish it up here with respect to the diagram we plotted. Like here, we have plotted this diagram. Yeah, these all 5 column guys does not get executed, it will not go outer for loop. So now the inner for loop will keep on working. Its
Okay.
initialization has done only once. Now its update and body part will get keep on executing. So if I press F6, it has print hash over here, see here in the console,
Yes. I see it.
right?
Yes.
And the control has come again to the line number 21, correct?
Right.
Now, what it will do, it will increment the column value now from 1 to 2. Okay. So
Okay.
column value will become 2. Now this initialization will not come into the picture now for
No.
now.
No.
Then
Yes.
this 2 would be compared with the size. So 2 would be lesser than 5,
Yes.
correct? So it will
Correct.
again go inside this. If I press F6, it will again go inside this and see column become 2 and 2
Right.
is lesser than 5. Now what it will do, it will print the hash again. If I press F6, it has printed the hash again. It came
Right.
here again and column will become 2 to 3. We are incrementing it. So it will incremented by 1 and it has 3 is less than equal to 5. So again it will go inside. So all 5 members will go inside. So this is for the third value. Now column will become 4. So what I'm doing, I'm making it 4. Again press F6, it is going inside and print it, and now we come to here again, and column become 4 to 5 now. So 5 is again, 5 is lesser than 5, that means condition is still true, there is no
True.
false condition.
Right.
So it will one more time go inside, and now the time comes, then is this column will become 6, so it will not come to the body part later on. So see here carefully, it has again go to the line number 21, see carefully. Now
Yes.
internally what it has done, it has incremented the column to the 6, and 6 is, this is
It
false
failed.
condition now.
Right.
So what it will do, it will jump to the line number 26 for inner for loop, because outer for loop it will give this, it will come out of this for loop for sure, right? This for loop
Okay.
work is done for now. So what it will do, it will come here, and here what I am saying, as my requirement is every now and then print hash 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 hash, so I explicitly write this line. It says if I do not put anything, then go to next line, something like that. So the cursor is here at console part, the cursor will come to the next line after after pressing F6 in this line. Do you get this?
Yes. So the cursor is going to go the next line below.
Now, and if I press F6, then it will again come to the which line number 18 it's supposed to
18.
come, because outer for loop one guy has only executed, the remaining four guy are still remaining for that particular part, right?
Okay.
Did you get the point? I still, you see the row is one here, correct? Column
Correct.
has finished up. We are out of column boundary, so column is not being shown here. So if I press F6, see here, it went upstairs, it went outer for loop. Now what will happen? Row will become 2. So row, what will happen? It will become 2, and 2 would be compared with size 5, right? So 2 is lesser than 5. So it says now row is not being initialized one more time. It will go into the its body part for outer for loop body part. So it going over here. Now one thing has to be put, up till now you have the clarity,
Up to now, I have the clarity here.
right? Now one thing keep in mind, this for loop is again become fresh for it, it has come from outer loop to inner loop, so this column variable will again reinitialize. Can you
Hmm.
understand this, right?
Yes.
For
Yes.
this it is start of world again, the same way I have done in the diagram also. Here
All the five
you
guys are
follow this
going to be
diagram,
called.
we went here, we are coming here, we are coming entering one more time here, and init should be called one more time. So keep in mind, outer for loop init would be executed once and only once during its lifetime, while the inner for loop init related variable has the dependency on the outer for loop. As many members as we have at the outer for loop, there's those many times the inner for loop init variable would get initialized,
Okay.
right? Do you follow the instruction what I say, right? So column would be, it has the this initialization has dependencies into its parent, its parents. If it has 5 parents, then it would get initialized 5 times, so again the column would get initialized for me one more time. So column would become 1, so column value would become 1, and it would get compared with size 5, so it will go inside this. If I press F6, it will go inside this. See here, column again get initialized to 1. Do not keep in mind that last time it was 6. When we come out of this for loop, that column get disappeared from this window, if you have
To
noticed.
start fresh. It will start fresh
Yeah,
again.
it start fresh for this. When it come from the outer world, outer for loop, for this is that it has come up for the very first time for it, because program does not know from where it is coming. Now the same cinema will continue whatever we discuss for this 5 time hash. So if I press F6, it will go upstairs, I mean in inner for loop itself, then it will do 2, then it will do 3, then it will do 4, then it will do 5, and then it will do 6 also. So if I
All right.
press this, I'll not show you again and again. Once it will go to the line, see here hashes are coming up below. Now it will go to the outer for loop.
Okay.
right? And then
It will go
again
net
to
5.
the again go to the outer for loop, and row will become 2 to 3. So this cinema will continue until the row does not also become 5. So this time we are done with 2 rows. We kept ready our 2 rows here, all right? Then if I press F6, then the row 3 comes into the picture. Again column, see here, there is no column right now here. Now again column 1 will happen, and column 2, column 3, and so on. Those things would keep on going. Do you follow the instruction what I say with
I
respect to
fi-
the understanding?
but so you're saying the first the outer loop, that row is getting increased, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
But at the inner loop, that column is not increased. That initialization is going to remain the same, but that row, that number one is getting increased, right?
Number 1 is getting increased, but it will not initialize twice, right? It would be initialized once and once only during its lifetime, right? Its
All right.
initialized part is only once. Its column initialization part would happen 5 times, because its parent will trigger it 5 times. That's why it is being initialized 5 times, right?
Okay.
So it would keep happening and happening and happening until we reach to the row to the 5. So we are done with the 4 rows. Again see here, row 5 is coming up here. So again column will be, see, the hashes are increasing. And then finally when we will come, its value becomes 6. Now its row will become 6, so it will come out of this outer for loop. So outer for loop come here, and it will jump to the line number 28. But at 28 we haven't write anything, so that is why it will not show us anything, and it will come out of this particular for loop as well. Did you get the logic what I tried to say to you?
Okay. If you don't mind, I say you listen to me, please.
Yeah, yeah, go on.
Okay. So first we started with the variable size, which is 5. Fine. And then we have a for loop, outer for loop. In it, we described the row variable to be 1. And then that
Mhm.
row is less than size. Size is 5. Yes, that is true. So if that condition is true, it is coming into the inner loop. So inner loop,
Mhm.
we initialize the column variable to be 1. Then what happens is, now in the inner loop, that column is being checked, the condition is being checked. Is it less than size, which is 5? Yes, that is true. So come and print that hash. Fine.
Right,
After that, now it is going to iterate. It is go back to the inner loop, not the initialization, because that has been done already. So now
right.
it will do the add, right? It will add.
Mhm.
Now it okay, so the column size is right now 2. So 2 is less than size. Yes, that is true. So come back, print the hash again. Fine. Then add. Now 2 becomes 3. Is 3 less than
Right,
size? Yes. Come and print that hash again, 3. Then it will do the fourth time, and then fifth time, until the sixth time. Sixth time it is false, so it is not going to print it. After that,
right,
then it is going to come out of that inner loop. It is going to print line number 26, right? And then it is
right.
going to go back to line number 18. Initialization is done already. So now this is the second
Absolutely
time.
right.
Now this is
Mhm.
second time. So this is 2, right? So
Right,
so that because first it was in the body of line number 18. Now that 1 becomes 2. So 2 is less than size. Then all this is going to happen again. That process is
right,
going to continue.
right. But column would become 1 now. So row is become 2, and then when it will come to the inner for loop, again the column will start from the 1 itself, right? Its
Right.
initialization will happen from 1. So this particular I mean story will keep on going. So once this is like, one time outer loop get executed, then inner loop get executed on and on and on until its condition become false. Then it will go to the outer loop one more time. So it is something like this. If I draw one more time so that to concrete our logic. So again I draw it. So outer loop, these 5 guys are here. So for these 5 guys, once this, for this person first checking is doing, inside inner loop all 5 guys been executed, right? 1 2 3 4 5.
Right.
Then once it is done, it become false, it has incremented it to here, right? Then it comes
Right.
here. and inner loop will again get executed, and all 5 will be executing here. Once it become false, it will go here and increment it by 1. Then again it will redirect, because all 5 people are not done, so again next inner loop would get executed. So 1 2 3 4 5, and this cinema will be continue until this person gets satisfied. So fifth time the inner loop will get executed. Now there is nothing left, so it will come out of this outer loop as well. This is the way to understand these program. All right.
I have one question.
Yeah, go on.
So sometime like I say, the pyramid, on the
Yeah,
console, the pyramid
let's
thing.
draw the pyramid. I mean, just concern of why not make a pyramid. It's just if your logic are robust, you can do that. Otherwise, conceptually, you have to understand. I can do it straight away. uh, Second nested for demo. So now I'll draw a pyramid for you, and just reusing that particular program. I'll not do anything fancy over there. See there, and the things would get started, would get turned out to be easy in a moment itself. I just copy and paste this particular part, and for the part of pyramid, let me delete these lines, or let it be. No worries. Let's say I want to print star. Okay, so I have, in a pyramid style, I want to print a star, and I want my output, I need like this. Generate comment. First show me 1 star, then in next line show me 2 star, then in next line show me 3 star, then in next line show me 4 star. For 5 value itself I'll be doing one more time. So I just introduce one line here, and everything will become possible for this. We will discuss the logic later on, as I have done many times those particular things, so logic is clear to me. I will just write one line over here, row equal to column, and then I have to introduce you the break statement. I will explain it to you. Let me run it so that I can make sure the program is running fine, then I'll explain you this particular thing. See, this pyramid has been printed now, correct?
Right.
So how the logic is working, let's discuss the logic outside, and then we will come again over here. All right.
Okay.
So let me paste there, as drawing tool is not working here, so note 1++ itself we will be using. Okay, here is our program. All right, now what is an output? Let me draw an output. 1, then 2, 1, 2, and 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Even this question was asked to me. That was in C language that time, in first year in my final term examination, during the lab session. So what
Was
I
it?
have done,
Wow.
yeah, way back in 2001. So I did not have those much understanding. What I have done to run the program on that time, I just write this: sys out. I press star, and very next line sys out.
2 stars.
Yeah. So he said, the lab assistant said that if you have I'll say it for the 100, then would you like to do it 100 times? Something like that. I did not, I mean, I didn't had the logic at that time, did not had so much understanding. So in that way I have done on that time. I'm just showing you, because did not had that much understanding that time. So what I have done 5 times I have done, and just show him that, see here, this is working. Then he said, show me your program, what have you done? Okay, coming to
That's the most
the
easiest way.
easiest way, I said, oh, it's a very easy program. Okay, let it put it here. So if you will see carefully, and if we compare with the hash, see there also 5 lines were there. I just write remaining with the circle 2, 3, 4 and 5, 3 and 5, then 2, then 1. If you see carefully, we don't need to print these values star, right?
Right.
So how we have to make a logic, like we have make the logic for hashes that was working for all the lines. So what logic I have inbuilt over here? The remaining conditions are same for nested for loop. See it carefully. When row is 1 and column is 1, this is called row. I say that, I let me write the row 1. Okay, sorry, r1, this is row 1, this is row 2, this is row 3, this is row 4, and this is row 5. This is my column 1, this is column 2, this is column 3, this is column 4, and this is column 5. So what I instructed this particular logic, that when row and column are equal, then you break from the inner for loop. This is inner for loop, this is printing entire row for me, this row, right? This inner for loop is responsible for printing entire row for me. Is that clear to you? Inner for loop, see, you have
Mm,
seen that when inner for loop was working, that hash was printed for
four
5 times,
times. Yes.
right? 4 or 5 times whatsoever, what based on our size. So what is this? This is a row only. So one understanding is clear, that whenever the inner for loop will executed, then it will be executing as much as size we have. So if we have to make a pyramid, one thing we have to think, that once in a for a first row we have to discard all other values. Only once I have to execute it, right? Only once, otherwise it will not make a pyramid. If a subsequent also, I will keep on printing. So what logic I have written over here? If in the first row, if row equal to column, so what is my row over here? Row is 1. In first column I'm saying, what is column value? 1, 1. So if 1 equal to 1, then break it. Break means
Oh,
now,
okay, okay. The initial
break means,
value of each, right?
right. Initial value is 1, 1. So what I have seen for the first row, that if both become 1, 1, break it. Break says go out of that is your current loop. So what is its current loop? The inner loop is the current loop. So it will go out of this current loop immediately and throw the control to the outer loop whenever the break statement will come. I supposed to explain you the break and continue also, but for now, the break means whenever the break will occur, that particular loop has to be exited. So this particular loop is inner loop. Right now I have put up this logic into the inner loop, so this inner loop will be immediately terminated and control will go to the outer loop. That is the behavior of for loop, that go out of the inner loop straight away. So what I said, whenever you both brothers meet up, 1 equal to 1, then go out. Then what will happen? The outer loop row will become 1 to 2. So what I said to it, if 2 equal to 2 becomes, then terminate. So 2 equal to 2 become means those both will get executed by this time. So first it will, this row will come, then this will come. So that's why when 2 equal to 2 will come, then break will happening over here. So it will not print the remaining value. First time it was not printing the remaining 4 value. Then it break occurs, it will straight away go above and row becomes 3. So it will be, I mean, it will be like this, 1 2, and over here 1 2 and 3, then 3 will become equal to 3 for column. So it will print for 3 time for me. Did you get the logic over here, which I
Yeah.
tried to explain you, right? So in that
Yes.
same way, I mean, it's up to an individual logic, how an individual person makes a logic. Otherwise, conceptually we have to think about those things. Even if you don't know, it does not doesn't mean that you cannot program, but if the logical things are altogether different things. But conceptually you have to understand that if you see any program and if you debug, you can debug that program, and after debugging you can understand then that program. That is more than enough.
Okay.
Nobody is going to give anybody's reward that, oh, you have cracked the logic without seeing without debugging this. Until unless we don't have to crack any interview and somebody really go after your life that explain me the logic, then there could be a difficulty sometime. Otherwise this is how it works. If you get the logic over here. So is
Go
it
back
clear?
to the diagram. Please go back to the diagram again, to the picture.
One second. I'm going back. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So okay, I understand like 1 equals to 1, but
Right.
2, shouldn't it be 2 equals to 2, but you have 2 equals to 1 and 2.
Yes, because column will be initialized with 1 first, then 2. That's why 2 times star would get printed.
Okay.
Did you get? Okay, let me write in this way. I have to write column and row both. Okay, in this way. First, the loop is clear to you. Outer loop. Row equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay.
Column equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I'm just writing R and C only, right?
Yes.
First time when row occurs, the first star will get printed, right?
Okay.
At this point, the row was 1, right? And the column was 1 as well.
Right.
Okay, so and then what logic I have given, then whenever the row and column value become same, terminate from that particular row, then I
Right.
have terminated. I put the breakpoint. Then comes the second line, so it will go to the outer loop. Second would become here, so row become 2 to me,
True.
and initialize column will be initialized with 1. It will go into the body and print the star. Then it will do 2, column 2, second star would get printed. Now
Right.
once it is printed, 2 equal to 2 comes into the picture, right?
Yes.
After printing itself, I have put up the logic for break, not before printing. See here, I'm printing first and then coming out of this, right? The row logic. That's why what I have seen, 2 star has printed, and then break is, as I have pressed break, so it will go to the outer loop. Then what value will occur for the row? It is 3 now. Now column will start for 1 again, 1, so 1 star would get printed. Then become 2, second star would get printed. Then become 3, third star would get printed. Then
Then
3
break.
becomes 3 equal to, it will be terminated from here. It will go to the outer for loop. Then row become 4, then column will start one more time from first. So first star get printed, second star get printed, third star get printed, fourth star get printed, and 4 become 4 equal, then it will be terminated from here. Column become 5, so again 1 first star get printed, 2 second star get printed, 3 third star get printed, 4 fourth star get printed, 5 fifth star get printed. And as soon as 5 become 5, it would get terminated and it will come here. So 5 becomes 6, so 6 there is no logic, so it will come out of all the for loop and out of the program, and it will give us the pyramid structure by the
I
logic.
get it, brother. Yeah.
Right, so logic is an individual thought. Whosoever is think in own style, that has to be logical mind. Nobody can make anybody's logical mind. It just come maybe some after the practice, or you are used to of those things. And programming world, you are used to those for loops, nested for loop. And but that is for sure, the nested for loop would be applicable for such type of things itself. Other than that, internally it uses for sorting, searching, and other things in the collection API. So we will come on those things later on if we have to write our own sorting related algorithm. Also there also it is like bubble sort, quick sort, and selection sort. There it is heavily used, but for Java we don't have to use those things. The libraries are already there, we just have to use those. So
Okay.
I guess you get the nested for loop logic, right?
I get the nested for loop logic. Yeah.
All right.
So let's say one question.
Yeah.
We have right now one inner loop. Let's say we
Mm.
had third inner loop, right? So
Hmm.
similar, it would come to the second inner loop condition and go into the last inner loop that we have. It will execute all those, then go to the second most inner loop, execute all those, and then go to the initial for loop,
Think
right?
your understanding is right. Think like that. uh, how many time it get executed, I can show you. I can say you the outer. If outer has maximum 5 value,
Okay.
its inner has maximum 5 values, and it has one more inner. It also has maximum 5 value. So how many time it will get executed? 5
15
multiply
times.
by 5 multiply by 5. It's not only 15,
Oh
125
no,
total
never mind.
output, right?
Yeah, right.
Those many output. Even you have seen these get executed 25 times, first and second inner loop. If you will total count the values for the hash, we have terminated over here. But if I would not have terminated that, count the total number of hash here. If I execute this program, see, if you will count this hash 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 to 15 then 20 then 25. So 25 times
25
that gets executed. So
executed.
you
Yeah,
just need to multiply, no matter how much depth you goes. So those many output will come. So now how you want to play around, it's up to you,
I see.
right? So in that way, however, lesser possibilities in real world programming, you will fall into such inner for loop related stuff, but still you must know the logic and all things with respect to those understanding. Then the things become really easier
At
for
least, since I'm in
one
the
time
beginning
understanding
stage,
must be. I mean, this
concept,
is the
the
basic
concept is,
fundamental things. Right, right, right.
yeah,
So
I need to
one
understand
must
the
have.
concept at least, right?
Correct. And the same way, like one more program, the quick program I can draw for you. Let's say you have to draw a table demo. There, what are the use cases? I'm showing you. Again, very quickly in 2 minutes itself, I can make a table program. I mean, 2 to 10 a table if I would like to draw. So what I do, I take a inner, I mean for loop, then int, let's say same thing row, or better to copy and paste from there itself, and size equal to, I'll make a 10. 1 second, let me copy and paste it. So if those things get clear, then a lot of things you can do. I say I want to print a table till 10. So what I have done, this, and I will just make one change here, format, and I would say it 4D. Yeah, this is just for the formatting to show the things. And table how works, I know the logic row into column. This is where table works. And within couple of minutes, see if I execute it. 1 second, I make the mistake of percent. Okay, see here. Now this using this nested for loop, can you see the table 1 2 3 4 5 6 up to
I
10,
see the table. Yeah.
right? So only if I want to increase the size 15, then it will show me the table till 15.
But
So
what
the
is that
condition I
format
have
you
to,
have? We see system out dot format.
this is because I have applied format is just for the formatting of these things. If for integer it is D, so 4D means keep a space of 4 space. So I have, that's why it is showing us correctly. If I would have write instead of this, we might discuss format in future, but for now, just for pretty printing things, if I write a println here and just row and column, then see how that matched up with respect to the, okay, you,
Oh, okay.
or if I write only print, not println, sorry. If I write only print, sorry. See here, doesn't it look quite meshy? However,
Yeah, I
the
see.
output was same. So what I have said, what I instructed to this format also print on the console, but if it is an integer, you can define the space. Okay, with every digit, keep a 4 white space. between digits. So if I have done this, this is showing me in a nicer way up till 15, right? The things are looking pretty much nice until
Yeah.
now, right? So pretty formatting purpose. So I mean make anything. If I want to say this is useless, one table nobody is interested. So the uh, what I say, the logic should be clear to you. If you will start from second column, so what it will do, it will start the table from second itself, second to 15. So I just make a one line change for column 2, and see here, now it is starting from the second, first has disappeared. So how much granular you are if the concepts are clear to you. So if you will play around for some time, those would you will grasp the knowledge, not a big deal. So you can make such type of program, different kind of pyramids and such type of tables also, so that your understanding would become more robust. So I have shown you many type of example right now.
Yes, you did. Okay.
Okay, so that's why I discussed little more and 3 4 examples for nested for loop, so that we have good understanding around that.
Okay.
All right, so okay, let's discuss the few more things with respect to the input output itself. So let me think what we can discuss the with respect to the, okay, scanner class we can discuss for 10 15 minutes. All right, I'll discuss those method and other things when time comes related
No
to
problem.
those. All right.
Yeah, you are the teacher, brother.
Because if we will discuss all logic in one